Gonna be live, so let me just take it's all yours now.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا المرسلين سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. اللهم لا سهل وجعلت السلام وجعل الحزن والصعب إلى شيء سهلا. And I want to start by thanking my brother for this kind introduction. I thank you. I remember your face, but I can't remember the details.
You know
by the way, I was a teacher here, 20 centuries ago maybe, by the dinosaurs' time. And alhamdulillah, so I know how it feels for you guys to be in school, and I know what it feels like for the teachers as well. Now, today's topic is relevant to your life, and when I was talking to Mr. Rasul, we wanted to talk about...
Do you mind using this mic?
Yes, sure.
This mic is
This means even more... Yeah, alhamdulillah. So we were debating, should we be talking about mental health related to what's happening in Palestine, or should we talk about mental health in general and include something that is relevant to what is happening in the current situations we're having in Palestine? So I wanted to make it mixed. I wanted to talk about mental health in general. The reason being for that is, as I said, I taught high school students, and I'm in touch with young people in the community, and I'm involved with so many youth activities and youth organizations. But at the same time, I'm a registered psychotherapist. I've worked for sick kids for the past 27 years, and I just finished my employment, I would say, a few months ago. I won't talk much why I left my employment. Some of you might know about it. Those who are active in social media would know, and this is a hint. I guess all of you knew it, right? Yeah? Those who are active in social media with issues of Palestine? There you go, got it? No need to talk more. Politics is dirty, I know. Alhamdulillah. Now, this is more interactive. Now, if we were to say, you heard this word a lot, mental health, right? So what is it? What does mental health mean? As I said, this is more interactive. I want to hear from you, and let's have a discussion. This is not one-way communication. Yes, go ahead, please.
Sciences of the mind.
Sciences of the mind. Beautiful. What else? This is open for the two sides. Let's take one from here and one from here. Yeah? You don't have to, but if you feel like you wanted to share, by all means. Like from the other side. What else? What's mental health? Okay, what's mental illness? Oh, sorry. Go ahead, sister. Yeah. Taking care of your emotions. Part of mental health is taking care of your emotions, by the way. And it's one of the gauges for your mental health. What else? Now, let's think of it this way. There's mental health and mental illnesses. Mental health is about living an optimum life, and mental illness is not so that. Be living in a not comfortable environment. So people normally move and shift in a continuum as a spectrum between mental health to mental illness. Now, some of you did mention mental illnesses. Like, what do you think of as mental illnesses that come to your mind when this is mentioned? Yeah. Depression. Number one is pandemic. This is like the most common. This is like number one. What else? Yeah. Schizophrenia, the worst case scenario of mental illness. What else? I saw a hand raised earlier. Yeah. Anxiety, definitely. Anxiety. What else along with anxiety? Yeah. Loneliness. This is a symptom of deeper, issues that we normally deal with. I saw many hands. Okay, your sister, yes. PTSD, exactly. PTSD is also another common we hear a lot about it, especially in the news. And this is also unfortunately becoming an issue that we deal with a lot in our community, especially with the new immigrant population. What else? Yeah, okay.
Depression.
Depression, which is, was mentioned earlier. Depression, as I said, is the pandemic. It's the stuff that's very common that everybody deals with. Anxiety, panic attack, depression, OCD, yes? Yeah. Bipolar, exactly. Do you know what's bipolar, by the way? Many people don't understand what's bipolar. When someone has 6 months of depression and 6 months of mania, they go from extreme to another extreme. And unfortunately, people with this, sickness, most of the time end up going to mental health facility and they take medications. But after that, they will come to people like myself for treatment. Now, what else comes to your mind? So we pretty much have covered, most of the issues that are common. And the reason why I chose to speak to you today is that these are issues that I'm dealing with. Like, these are issues that my clients come to me for. And they deal with it in a more professional manner. And I'm sure, majority of you would be identifying with some of the issues we're talking about today, inshallah. So we need to think of mental health as being in the optimum, stage, and mental illness as being in the other spectrum, at the other end of the spectrum. Now, why mental health is important? Yeah. I know Michelle, you're sitting in the far. Do you mind if I come a little closer to hear you? Yeah, it's true. Yeah, don't laugh about it. It's very important. Mental health is important for some of the reasons that the young sister mentioned. Number one, so we're able to care for ourselves. Number two is to, she did mention the other extreme, so that we don't end up thinking about suicide, which is something that not pleasant to talk about, but it is real. Now, anybody from the other side, why it's important, to have a healthy mental state? Yeah.
As Muslims, we're supposed to take care of our mind, body, and faith.
Exactly, body, mind, and faith. Now, what else? What's the impact of mental health in our life? How does it impact our life? Yeah? It helps us to stay positive, that's right. When you stay positive, what happens? So you're saying, in other words, it impacts overall your life, conditions, or your livelihood, in other words, right? Yeah. Yep. Yes, this is, one of the ways. Yes, you're right. The outcome of it is, from my observation, it increases and improves your retention of the livelihood. Yep. Mm-hmm. Excellent. That's an excellent point. You want to shift, like when we should go back and work. So, excellent point. The sister here said it impacts your relationships with people around you. What else? I saw so many hands. Do you still want to, add something to what has been said? Oh, brothers, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
It helps you be proactive rather than reactive.
Exactly. And yes, exactly. It helps you to be proactive rather than being reactive. It helps you to build self-esteem. Let's take one of the brothers and then come back to you. Just make a balance between the two sides. Yes, please.
It impacts how you view the world and others.
Exactly. It helps you to see, it impacts the way you see things around you. The world, the community, the society. What else? Yeah, you were trying to say something.
Yeah, sometimes positive mental health can also keep you away from haram, because a lot of people
Precisely.
have bad mental health, they fall into haram things, they do those things.
Definitely. It helps you to stay in the positive path and stay away from haram, because overall, people with mental sicknesses, this is what I have been seeing, are actually victims of shaitan. And we'll see how we can combat that and deal with it in a more effective way. Anything else beside that, what has been mentioned? Like, all what you said is important for mental health. It helps you to stay positive. It helps you to live not a happier life, but a productive life. It impacts your overall, productivity in life. Meaning to say, your engagement in academic life is impacted with your mental health. Your relationships with people around you, your family, and in this case, most of you are still young. Your family, your friends. In the future, inshallah, your family, like your spouse, your children. This is something you need to think about early in your life, because whatever personality you have right now, whatever mental health status right now you're dealing with, will be impacted or will be impacting your future relationship with people around you. So you can see that mental health is impacting our overall life. So my relationship with people around you, some people are not so good with establishing friendships. Like they don't have any friends. Others are having difficulties with their parents. Some are having difficulties with their siblings. Some are having difficulty to connect and establish a healthy relationship with their teachers. These are all related to mental health. You'll be surprised to hear that. Like I said, your academic life, if you're not doing so well in school, that part of it could be related to your mental health. So it is important to have a healthy lifestyle, and that would be giving you the maximum ability or benefit from your life. So there are signs that we can use as a gauge for how healthy our life is. So being mentally healthy means being resilient. Does this ring the bell in your mind? Resilience? Resilience? People of Gaza? Resilience and people of Gaza? No? One of the things I have observed from my experience, especially since October 7, is how the resilience of people of Gaza have inspired everybody in this planet. People in the West, Muslims, non-Muslims alike, are inspired with how resilient the people of Gaza is. They're saying, how come they're living hell, but they're still able to stand up and they're saying Alhamdulillah. They're saying Allah is merciful, Allah is gracious. We count on Allah Azza wa Jal. I have, by the way, clients who are non-Muslims who are coming to me because of the issues what's happening in Gaza, and they're trying to deal with their feelings, and they're saying, we're inspired, we're amazed by the resilience of the people of Gaza. Keep that in mind, and we'll talk about how are we able to create resilience in our life, so we become strong people. Feeling in control of your life, just like what was mentioned earlier. Being in control of your life. Your life is not flip-flop. You're just like a feather blown by the air from one direction to another direction. Confident, you have the self-esteem, you feel like yourself, you look into the mirror, you feel good about yourself, you're not feeling down, you're not looking at yourself always as negative, you're not criticizing yourself inside your own mind. Feeling good about yourself, we said that. Managing and expressing your emotions. Managing and expressing your emotions is one of the signs of having a healthy mental health state. And then building and maintaining good relationships with people around you. So these 6 things could be the gauge in which by you're able to assess how your mental health being good versus being bad. So if you feel that these things that are mentioned you're having difficulty with, then chances that you need to probably explore a little more about how to create a much better, healthier life for yourself. Now, what impacts our life? What impacts our mental health? Any thoughts on this? Yeah.
Everybody around us and our surroundings.
Definitely, your environment. Let's be more specific. What do you mean by that?
The family and friends.
Family and friends, number 1. What else?
School.
School, definitely, precisely. Teachers, listen to this. Are you sending a message? Yes, I can hear that. Yes.
The way you treat yourself and your relationship with your
The way you treat yourself and your relationships with others. Yes, definitely could be that. Yes. The internet, exactly, which is part of your environment. There are so many factors in your environment, including the internet. What else? Yeah.
Drugs.
Drugs, precisely. You got it, buddy.
How tight or flexible your schedule is?
How heavy or flexible your schedule is? Yes, that could impact your. That creates or generates stress in your life. Precisely. What else? Yeah.
Lifestyle.
Life. Lifestyle, definitely. Yes.
The amount of sleep you get.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Amount of sleep you get.
Amount of sleep. Yeah, that's true. The amount of sleep you get. Yeah.
Upbringing.
Upbringing, person. That's an excellent point. What do you mean by upbringing?
As in the way you've grown up, not necessarily your parents, but the environment you've grown up in.
Exactly. So this is some of the points that you were saying. What else? I think the sister. Yeah, go ahead. Your spiritual connection and disconnection, right? Yeah, precisely. What else? Yeah.
Past experiences.
Bad experiences. Exactly. We're impacted. We build, the perceptions about positive and negative experiences. Go ahead. Trauma. That's true. Trauma can impact your life and affect your mental health in a big way. What else? Fine. Yeah, go ahead.
Your work environment.
Your work environment related to your study environment or your academic life. Like, now, go ahead. You want to say something? The country you live in, precisely. This is part of your environment. Now, here's what contributes to your mental health. Now, all of us have inherited something from our parents, right? There's something called DNA genes. These genes are not as a choice for us from our parents, right? Like, you inherit something from both sides. And then here comes the environment around you that plays a big role into exposing these genes or fading them into your life. What do I mean by that? Someone might be having some genes or the tendency to be more the person in their life or introvert. And then the environment plays a bigger role into exposing these traits in them or fading these traits. Now, these environmental factors are related to what the brother in the back was saying about the upbringing. What does upbringing mean? It means the way your parents have interacted with you, or you have been interacting with them, and also the overall environment around you. The structure or the family dynamic, between you and your family members, the outside circle of that, which is the community we belong in as Muslims, alhamdulillah, and the bigger circle would be the society which we're part of, because we need to also keep that in mind. And at the same time, we're part of this culture that we're living in. We're living in Western culture, but also we do have our own culture as whatever background culture we come from, and we have also the overall culture of Islam. And we have also our faith, which plays a big and vital role in shaping our personality. But at the same time, you also have the school, and another factor which is very active, peer pressure. You heard about that? Peer pressure. Peer pressure is one of the most influential factors in your life. Now, why do we need to understand these factors? Because when we understand these factors, then it will help you to understand how you behave. If you're feeling in certain way you're not comfortable or happy with, then you need to know that this is not something you might necessarily have chose for yourself. It could have been something that was given to you, passed on to you from your ancestors. And then, the environment around you have contributed to shape who you are at this present moment. But how is that going to help us to understand how to live a healthy lifestyle? When I understand these issues, then I am able to manipulate and work on, what helped me to become more happy or more healthy mentally versus being mentally unhealthy. Does that make sense? Kabish? No? Need more explanation? Let me give you an experiment to explain what I'm talking about. Let's say someone, I had like I don't wanna. I'm trying to be discreet and because confidentiality is very important in my practice. But some people come to me, they're dealing with depression. Okay, so they feel bad about themselves. Oh, look at me, I'm a loser. You know, I don't know how to deal with things. You know, things are so difficult in my life, and I don't know how to interact with people around me. I said to them, why do you feel bad about yourself? You need to feel good about what Allah has given to you. Yes, indeed, we do have things that we need to work on because Allah said in the Quran, وَنَفْسٍ وَمَا سَوَّاهَا فَأَلْهَمَهَا فُجُورَهَا وَتَقْوَاهَا. You know, Allah Azza wa Jalla created this nafs, which is He made an uthmai, you know, in the Quran, and He gave the nafs the two options. But Allah is saying to us, قَدْ أَفْلَحَ مَنْ زَكَّاهَا, glad tidings to the person who purifies himself. So that means we need to play a vivid role into shaping or purifying and enhancing who we are as a human being. And our nafs is not, you know, curved. It's not, you know, rigid. It is flexible. So we need to work on that. And this is, you know, why the Quran stresses a lot on the taqwa and the purification and tazkiyah. We even, you know, hear this word a lot in our deen, tazkiyat al-anfus. So that has been said, then when you look into these, you know, issues, you need not to feel guilty that you have certain mental illnesses per se, but you need to know that this is coming onto you, so Allah is testing you and see how you will be working on changing your nafs into a better position. Does that make sense now? Okay, alhamdulillah. Now, that has been said. Now, what is it that I can do to keep a healthy lifestyle? You know, one of the things was mentioned earlier is to diet well, avoid junk food, and trust me, you know, I'm not saying that because, you know, I'm an adult and trying to discourage you from, you know, eating junk food, but it does really impact your life. Sleeping well, you know, spending longer hours, unnecessary longer hours, you know, serving the net or, you know, glued to your, you know, gadget, whether it's a phone or a tablet, is going to impact your overall mental health. You know, exercising is very important, which is something that in the busy lifestyle we live, we don't seem to be able to do much. And also, another important factor is to be engaged. Be engaged first, you know, with our deen, because our deen is what would help us, you know, live a healthy lifestyle. As I said, you know, how many of you have heard about Ihya Ulumuddin, the book Ihya Ulumuddin? Yeah, it's a very common book. It's not your third generation. This is even like, you know, from the, you know, very old and ancient, you know, scholars of Islam. But Ihya Ulumuddin as a book, it speaks about tazkiyat al-anfus, purification of the nafs. And if you were to take the cover of that book and put, you know, another label, book of psychology, then people would not notice the difference. Because Abu Hamid Ghazali, the ancient Abu Hamid Ghazali, have spoken about the nafs and the purification of nafs and the problems of, you know, the psychological problems or mental illnesses and how to deal with it and how to improve our mental health. Because there is a connection. You know, our mind, by the way, is like a computing machine. And this is part of what the sister was saying about, you know, traumas and experiences in our life. 90% of your mind's functioning is unconscious. It's all computed in the background. And 10% only is conscious. You think of it this way. You have a laptop, has an operating system, and have Windows, right? So the Windows is the 10%, the interface. And the operating system is the, you know, the, what do you call it, the background work, right? So now, the 90% of your mind's, you know, functioning comes from the experiences you have from early time in your infanthood all the way to the stage where you're at right now. So there will be a lot of positive things, and there could be also a lot of negative things. So your job is to try to explore these negative things and change them, adjust them, and reset your system so you're able to have a better functioning computing machine. That's why once in a while, by the way, many of you receives, you know, an update from Apple or Android. Why? Right? Why do you receive these messages? Because there's a bug in the system needs to be fixed. So they send the patch, and the patch is downloaded, and it's, you know, fixed in the system, and then your phone becomes more effective. So the same is to be said about the human, abilities. So that has been said. We need to be mindful of our interactions with our ibadat, interactions with our deen. And you guys are extremely lucky to be living in an environment like this. You come to school, you're trying to finish your academic life, but at the same time, you're getting the religious or the spiritual dimension embedded in your academic life. That by itself is a huge factor into helping you to live a healthy lifestyle. What does this mean? It means be more engaged. The more activities you're engaged in understanding your deen, in Islamic activities, in Islamic programs, is going to help you improve your overall status of the mind. It will help you to feel in peace with yourself. By the way, I'm trained as a mindfulness cognitive-based therapy. Who knows what does this mean? MBCT, mindfulness cognitive-based therapy. Have you heard of it?
Part of it, don't know what it is.
Part of it. Like, tell me what you know about it.
So it's based on the mind and the thinking.
Exactly.
That's the first point. And it's just
Behavior.
trying to treat how people think.
Exactly. Mindfulness cognitive-based therapy is all about mindfulness. Mindfulness translated into an Islamic term would mean khushur. What's khushur? Yeah, it's mindfulness, but what does it Islamically mean? Yeah. Sincerity. But why is it related? Sincerity is connected with khushur. You're being fully engaged, right? Khushur is being fully engaged, like being mindful, being focused. Like when you read khushur, when you read your Quran in khushur, you're trying to contemplate, reflect, and when you're doing your salah in khushur, you're fully immersed into your salah, right? So that's what we do in helping clients deal with their own stressors or problems in life, by helping them to step outside of the factors that create stress to them, and help them to be more mindful of themselves, of their moment, and of their life, so they're more control of their life. I know this sounds a little complicated for you, but I want to conclude because we have only 2 minutes left, because you need to go back to your classes. Now, how many of you have friends who is from Palestine or Gaza? Whoa. I'm reluctant to say how many of you are from there, because I don't want to sound like, a national issue, a nationality issue. Now, all of you, no exception, have been up to date with what's happening in Gaza. How does it make you feel? Personally, it made me feel extremely sad. I was depressed. I'm surprised to oh, it's depressed. The psychotherapist is depressed. Yes, I was depressed. Did I seek therapy? Yes, I did. For this, yes. There's nothing wrong with, by the way, seeking therapy. Now, since this happened in Gaza, and how many of you know what's happening right now in the US campuses? I just was watching the news. In California, they were attacking, students in the campuses, right? They were using tear gas, right? In Colombia. So how does that make you feel? Yeah. Exactly. Extremely disappointed. Not only disappointed, extremely disappointed. Angry. Why? Why do you feel extremely disappointed and angry? Because it's hypocrisy. We're supposed to be living in a democratic society, right? We're living in a country or in a culture, a North American culture, that brags about human rights and freedom of speech, right? But we're seeing that is not being the case when it comes to ourselves as Muslims. Right? How does that make you feel? It makes me feel extremely angry, disappointed. I just can't describe my feelings of sadness. Like, how can I deal with it? Yeah.
Reach out.
Reach out. Number 1. What else? Yeah. Be proactive. Right? Make dua, precisely. But what else? We need to have something more. Since October 7, yeah, go ahead. Take actions. There you go. That's what I want to get to. But be careful. We're not saying take actions by physically. Since October 7, I felt the impact of what happened in Gaza into myself and my family members. And I noticed that there's something wrong in the dynamic of our family. And I said to my family, listen, we could feel depressed, sad, and we start, yelling at each other because we're short-tempered, because we're so much stressed. Or we could take action and unleash that energy. Sorry, my time is up, let me just finish my point. I can take that energy that is built as a result of my anger, as a result of my frustration, as a result of my disappointment with the system we're living in, into action to advocacy work. How many of you have heard of NCCM? What's NCCM quickly? Come on. Yeah, doesn't matter, anyone. National Canadian Council of Muslims. Have you heard of Justice for All? Justice for all. Okay, great. Now, this should be on your social media or your Instagram subscribe to them. Why? Because they keep you up to date on how you are able to help the people of Gaza. Your dua is number one. In the middle of the night, in the last third of the night, cry to Allah Azza wa Jal, unleash your energy, your emotions into dua. And then at the same time, take actions, send emails, make phone calls, participate in demonstrations. How many of you have participated in demonstrations? Come on, guys. How come? Do it. Go outside, yell it out. When I go to demonstrations, I scream from the top of my lungs. I want to let that energy out, and I want everyone to hear it. I don't want to keep it inside so that this energy would hurt me. I want to let it out, but do it in a positive way. We're not saying, becoming violent. We want you to be active. Now, even my kids joke about me. When we communicate with each other, we communicate with the slogans that we say outside in the street. Down, and we mention names. Or, you look like, this guy. You look like this, politician. And we just, attack each other, using, the terms we use outside in the demonstration. So I managed somehow to translate this negative energy from energy that can, hurt me physically, that could hurt my psychology, into an energy that would make me more proactive. Now, I lost my job as a result of this. But you know what? Who cares? Imagine Allah forbids I did not, leave my job as a result of this, and I'm still, did not do anything for the people of Gaza. I'll feel horrible about myself. I'm not saying that, go to that extreme, but I want you to think of how are you able to contribute and do something within your limits and power that would help you to, do something for the sake of Allah. Number one, for your brothers and sisters who are now, being not only, harassed or tortured. This is like a genocide. This is unheard of in the modern history, especially in the era we're talking about human rights and human, things and all the details. Yeah, go ahead.
How do we compare this to the Uyghurs in the Rohingya that have already happened in 2020?
Everything, all the causes of Islam. I'm just saying that because this is now becoming, the most hot topic. But there are also many other causes. The Uyghur, the Kashmiris, the Afghani, the Iraqi, the Sudani, the Somali, everything. We have a lot of problems in our Muslims. Take a cause and be an advocate for it. Kabish? Alright? Now, I leave it to the teacher to decide whether we need to have discussion or just we wrap it up at this point, because I know that Mr. Rasul told me that we could probably have another time in the conference that will be organized. And we will be having like a workshop style and have more time for discussion. So I'll leave it to the discretion of the teachers to decide what we need to do right now.
Maybe if you guys have any individual questions for a couple minutes, you can say back, but the rest of them can probably.
I will leave my QR code with someone so you can guys share them with yourselves. And by the way, before you leave, be mindful that you have also a resource here in ISNA. You have mental